All right, guys, welcome to Reality Insider. This is Ashley here with Nick from Big Brother 15 and a few other things as well. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, my name is Nick Uhas. I was on Big Brother 15. I wasn't on the show for I wasn't on the show for that long. I came in blazing ahead. I had big plans. I had big ideas. I was going to take the show by storm. But then about 3 weeks in, it was time to hit the pavement. So it was kind of, of course, in my own eyes, I thought it was a tragedy. Of course, for the other people, it was not. They were happy to see me go. But as you remember, I mean, we're now talking 2 seasons ago. To kind of sum up the season, the big part of that season for at least myself was Gina Marie. We created this sort of, this bond more or less, and then she ended up taking second place. And so the majority of the time that I was on Big Brother, I was actually just being talked about by GM, who eventually took second place. So she was on it the entire time, and I was outside the house, running around doing YouTube stuff. So that's
Very
pretty
cool.
much my Big Brother 15 experience.
Very cool. Let's go back to the beginning of that because I'm sure that's what most people know you for.
Yeah.
So let's start with, first of all, how did you even decide to audition for that show? What made you to try
Yeah.
out,
So
basically?
I was in New York City, and this is almost my third year in New York City, and I wanted to just like do something completely different because I'd already anticipated leaving New York and moving to LA, and so I wanted sort of like a clean break, like to do something very different that would sort of set like a kind of like a benchmark in my life to separate these two times, and like one would be in New York, one would be in LA. And so I'd watched the show for a really long time, and I never really considered going on the show because I was a pre-med student, I was a professional rollerblader. Like I was always doing something where it was a complete impossibility. But then I'd been working in New York for 3 years for Volkswagen at the time, and I was doing acting stuff and modeling and whatnot, like a lot of commercial modeling and acting stuff. One of the shows was Discovery ID, and I I thought, man, this is the perfect time to do it. I'm not getting any younger, so I just auditioned like anyone else would audition in my bedroom, basically. And I watched the audition the other day, and it's so bad. I mean, it's horrible. When I watched it, I could barely watch myself. I mean, it was so bad. It's like I'm stuttering. I'm getting distracted. I'm like talking about there's a map behind me. I'm like trying to like point it out like a weatherman. Like I'm failing. It's pretty horrific. But I guess it was enough to get a second audition. And then the second audition went really well. That was actually in New York, and there was a guy named Chris Roach, and it just felt really like good. I felt really good about it. The third audition, they actually fly you out to LA for close. The second time they do it for close to a week. It's like 3 or 4 days. It's all secretive. Like you're like on super lockdown. They put you in a hotel room. You're not allowed to talk to anybody. You get essentially room service. You get to work out. I mean, there's a very regimented schedule. And you go through this whole process of doing these background checks, and they check your medical condition, make sure you can handle it, make sure you're not going to like end up in the house and be a psycho and stab people. I mean, it's really thorough. And so by the time that all happens, you're kind of thinking this is going to happen, but you also realize that they typically have about twice as many people as what they're going to have on the show. I mean, you can just count. I mean, there's like 30 odd some people there, and there's only going to be 14, 15 people. And so you want to believe it's going to happen, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, there's a good chance this might not happen. I mean, it's kind of a toss of a coin at this point. And so then you meet all the producers, you meet all of the people at CBS. It almost feels like it's not really happening. And you eat a lot of granola bars because they have those like on tap. I drank a ton of coffee because when you're in your room, you're not allowed to leave your room. And so I was like in my room doing sit-ups and push-ups and watching episodes of Big Brother. But then once you get your key and then I'm on the show, even then you still don't know if you're actually on the show because you're not in the house. And it's like the twistiest twist of all twists. And so you never know, am I actually going to get in the house, or is it like they're going to have this like prelim bonus round? Because they kind of did that in season, what was it, 14, I think, where
Yeah.
Jody wasn't even, she never even made it into the house. She actually got eliminated before ever stepping in the house, and I was like, I do not want that to be me. Although I came pretty close to being eliminated before you meet in the house. And so, yeah, so that's the process.
Oh, wow. It's a totally kind of random question, but I was just thinking about it as you were talking. And I don't think I've ever asked another Big Brother house guest, but when we see the Big Brother show, when they're giving out the keys, do they give you the key before that, or is that a surprise when they do it with your family and stuff?
It really is a surprise.
Okay.
This show is actually extremely factually accurate. It is one of the only true reality TV shows in the sense that there's not someone there feeding you the lines. And so that intro portion, again, you don't know. I mean, think about it. You've gone through 4 rounds. You've met with producers. You've been in LA. You've gone through the background check, all that shenanigans. But then you really don't know. You still don't know. I mean, and it could go awry. I mean, they do pick backups. Like, you know, it could get your key and then, psych, just kidding. You don't really know. And so that part is really real. And it's very surreal. You don't actually believe it's happening. But then once it does, they capture that. They stick you on a plane. You get your one phone call, just like a jail sentence, and you're off to LA. And that's it. Boom, cut. And so you're like prepped, like to make that leap. And then once you make that leap, that's it.
Yeah. I remember watching those, and they always just seem funny because everyone's reactions are always over the top. So it's always like, is that real or is that just people? You can never tell on these shows.
It's pretty wild. And they some of them look like, no way, like that can't really happen.
I know, it's funny.
You're like, really? Like you were just like, you just so happened to be there. Like at this time, the families just so happened to be hanging out. But the family is brought in or whatever. My family wasn't because everyone was in Ohio. But yeah, I mean, like I was really out rollerblading. Like I was really out doing what I do, and that's kind of how it all went down.
That's funny. Now, we already mentioned you got a little bit of a short stay
in
the house. What do you think was your ultimate downfall to be sent home that early?
Yeah, this is kind of a funny answer, but the ultimate downfall is actually just never playing the game before. You know, hindsight is so clear. You know, hindsight is 20/20, and it's so obvious what your downfall is. But and most people, you know, I'd receive like a lot of like criticism after the show from people who watch the show, like, oh, dude, you play too hard, too fast. But in my time there, it did not feel like too hard, too fast. There was a lot of downtime, a lot of time where people are just, you know, there'll be a conversation and a lot of talking, and then it kind of just disappears. And that opportunity, that alliance, that information wasn't real, didn't actually happen, whatever it may be. And so there's so much gameplay that's happening all the time that when you're there, it doesn't feel like it's happening all too fast. But the one thing that I would actually do is for the first 6 weeks going into the house, I would do nothing, like zero. Like I would just tell everybody, I don't even care what you do. Put me up on the block, I guess, whatever. I don't, cool, sure, whatever. Literally just like play a couch potato for the first 6 weeks, and then I would start to play the game. I would just be like super shady all the way up until week 6, and then start playing, like actually start thinking about the game.
Yeah, I think it really depends. Like some people go in there and play full force and make it to the end, and then other people go in there and just sit the whole time and never play and then go to the end.
Exactly.
It just depends.
The thing, yeah, you know, it's so true because some people walk in with targets. You know, you walk in, every word that comes out of your mouth, people think, oh, this guy's up to something. Or just like your physique, like Howard and what do I say, Jeremy, like they were big, they were like muscular dudes. So you immediately think, oh, they're gonna be winning comps. Like, you know, we need to get this guy out. And so it definitely depends. But there are ways that you could probably skew it to sort of fly under the radar longer. And I tried my best, but after a while, you can't help it but to want to like talk to someone, because it does get really lonely in there because you're just there to vote everybody else out, and so you're not really there to make friends. But then at the same time, you really want to make friends.
Well, that's because those are the only people you have. That's what you have for, like, what is it? I think it's like 3 months if you're there the full time.
3 months, yeah. Almost 9 years. And so that's like the ultimate like obstacle is, you know, how are you going to have friends and have a support system, but at the same time don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what?
it's a tricky game. I don't think I could go on that show and make it far. I'd be
It's
breaking down by like day three.
it's so much more difficult, but at the same time, so much more intriguing than I'd ever anticipated. Even for the 3 weeks I was there, I really enjoyed it. I think leaving was more depressing just because it's an experience that you don't get in the real world. I mean, the setup in itself is so intense that having just those couple moments playing this game and whatnot is so unique, such a unique experience to your life that I was so let down to leave so early. I hated
Yeah.
leaving.
I bet I couldn't imagine it would be hard just because you're like I want to go as far as I can and then it's like
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a point of exhaustion where you're just like so sick and tired of playing the game, but like I loved it. Like loved it. And this is what I tell a lot of people is that it in real life, you don't have very many opportunities to, and this sounds horrible, but just hear me out. You don't have very many opportunities to use the other evil side of your brain, right? So, like,
Mhm.
I'm a dork, and I can fully explain this. You have a Jedi brain, you have a Sith brain, right? And talking Star Wars now. And so, like, the Jedi side of your brain is like what you typically use throughout the day, right? It's like you cannot act like a homicidal maniac 24/7 or else you'll go to jail. Like that's it. That's how society operates. But in the Big Brother house, it's like these like make-believe conditions where you get to use the other side of your brain. This sort of like very devious and very like, sneaky and crafty and almost like you're breaking out of jail kind of brain, you know what I mean? It's like it's a
Yeah.
very devious, very dark side of your brain. But if you never use it, you don't ever get to use it, you're not actually harming anybody inside the house. And that's why it's like this kind of like this like, oh my gosh, there's this whole other side of my brain that I don't ever use and I get to use it now. And I love that part of it.
Yeah.
That was just super cool because those conditions allow you to do it and you can.
Very true. Very true. Um, one more. We'll do one more Big Brother question. I know we have limited time. Unless a fan asks anything, I'll go
No,
off to you in a minute.
all good.
But are you still friends or close with anyone from your season at this point?
I'd say I talked to Jesse. It's so funny too because Jesse was the one who like followed me around or whatever, and I never really spoke with her at all. But her and I keep in touch via phone and whatnot. Jeremy and I also keep in touch. McCrae and I like we'll text and call each other every once in a while, and then ironically, the girl who voted me off, Alyssa, like her and I are like Alyssa and I are we of those like 3 and 4, like those are the ones that I stay in touch with the most.
Uh-huh.
Because Howard was one of my favorites, but lives in Mississippi. I mean, that's like super difficult. And then really no one else really.
Yeah, understandable. I know sometimes people stay in touch and other people just kind of fade out, so I just thought we'd ask.
Other people, I don't want to stay in touch with.
Oh, that's not nice.
It's true though. I mean, you think that they were bad on TV? Well, they're even worse outside.
Oh, goodness. Um, oh, good question. We're going to go off topic from Big Brother for a little bit. But it says, how did Nicopedia come about? Which is, if you want to explain a little bit of what that is.
Totally, great. So Nicopedia is a YouTube series where we explain life's questions through the lens of science. And so it's not exactly a science show. It's really more of like humanistic show, but we use science to explain like everyday life things. Like things like why does coffee make me poop? Like that's a good question. And so we use science to explain that. And we're doing a lot of other really fun things with science because I have a pretty extensive science background. I was a pre-med student in school. I graduated as a pre-med student. I was going to go to medical school, and so I love science. And so kind of bringing all the things that I enjoy together with YouTube and science and acting, putting them all in one little show that is Nicopedia. And how did it come about? So after Big Brother, I did a Kickstarter account. I'd always been working in YouTube. I had a lot of friends that were like really big YouTubers, and so I wanted to be a YouTuber. Like that's like had been my dream for so long because it's like your never-ending string of like content creation. I just thought that was like the most beautiful and awesome thing ever. And so in that phase, I was like, how am I gonna get this to work? And so we came up with these 3 ideas. We had this thing called YKYT, which was YouTube. It was kind of like a talk show, but for YouTubers. And then we had this other show, which is like sketch comedy. And then we had this other one called Nickipedia, which came about actually from a Big Brother like Twitter fan follower. Like they basically like had thrown out the idea, and it sort of rolled into our own, because we'd sort of like thrown out facts, and it was pretty on Big Brother, and they kind of just threw out this name like Nickipedia. Like, you should do a show about that, about like facts and like science and stuff. And I was like, that is just such a brilliant idea. And so we really like ran with it. And then the other shows, YKYT and the sketch comedy show, kind of just like faded in the background. Like we didn't like ever like, we weren't like, oh, like cancel the show. We're so focused on Nickipedia that it just kept going with that. And the more that we got obsessed with it, the more that we got partners and backers. And eventually my business partner, his name is Matt Nicholas, him and I sort of teamed up together, and we created this show. I mean, there's a lot of other people that work on it too. Main editor and like creative guys, Brian Bigler, Rebecca Zamolo, and Matt Yoakum, they like helped out. And so it's this girl named Rachel, my girlfriend Kylie, like she comes in on some of the episodes. Like, it's a really big team. Like, it looks like it's just me, obviously, because I'm the one who's hosting it, but the team's about 10 people deep. I mean, it's a really big process to get these things like up and going. And there's actually the future for Nickipedia is like really exciting. So we did a coffee rap battle, which is really cool. We started doing more experiments, like and so on the cusp of things right now, we have a couple more like world record breaking experiments, and we have some more like sort of like short form, like short film kind of sciencey stuff coming up. And so we have a lot of things that are going to be like really fun, like really, really, really fun content in the future.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I know I was looking, I had never seen Nickipedia before. I'd seen your other shows before, but until you mentioned it, I had never watched it. So I went and watched a few, and I was like, oh my. So this is not something I would picture him doing from just hanging on Big Brother.
I know, it's funny because
so
most people are like, they wouldn't like draw the connection between like the science and whatnot. But it's like I said, like I had such an extensive science background, and it was kind of just a habit of like, I don't know how or why, but I'd always kind of like really soaked in some of these really random facts. Really like, I don't know, they just would come out every once in a while. It would just be like, oh, hey, did you know that's because da 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 da? And then the premise of the show just sort of like stemmed back from that innate personality trait of me just knowing this like really random information and being really excited to tell people about it.
That's very cool. Have you been having a good success with the show so far?
Definitely. I mean, from its inception, I mean, it's been by far like the best show that we've put on YouTube. And now it's starting to grow into kind of like, what can I say? It's becoming its own thing now. I mean, every show has a development phase, I guess you could say, which is you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what you're going to like, what's going to be successful, what's not. And so now we've really kind of got like a niche about like what we know we like to do. We know what we like, what type of content we like to make. We know what doesn't work. And so I'm so excited about the future of Nickipedia. It's going to be good. Okay. In fact, I'll say this too, that it's already in my time has been very successful. The show was around for 6 months, and my agent reached out to the Weather Channel, and I went on an audition where I started hosting and producing a show for TV. So in like a short 6 months from doing Nickipedia, I became a TV producer and host. And so I was writing science content for the Weather Channel. And I was making this show called Brainstorm, which was like a mini Mythbusters. It was about 3 minutes long, and it aired during the Weather Channel's live show. Season 1 is now over, and they're looking at doing a season 2, but it's going to start sometime later down the road.
Okay.
And then along with that, we were also contacted because the essentially like the head creative, almost as like the creative chair of DreamWorks' YouTube channel. It's called DreamWorks TV. They bought Awesomeness TV. They really liked our science show, and so the same like crew is actually producing a show for DreamWorks TV. And so I'll be hosting it, but I'll be writing it and co-writing it and producing it, and that should be coming out sometime, not this month, but the month after that.
That's very cool. So you've had a lot of opportunities coming about, though, which is really awesome.
Yeah, and That's the coolest thing about YouTube is that once you create like this nest of content and you can continue to make it, then so much opportunity can come out of that. 'Cause it's like being on a TV show. You know, it's like
Yeah.
once you're on the TV show, then other opportunity comes because people already saw you on the TV show.
Yeah. Very true. A fan in the chat room said, "Did you have an on-TV science influence like Bill Nye, etc.? Anyone like that you used to watch?"
Oh, you know, so like yes, Bill Nye. A long, long time ago, when I first got started like in entertainment, I was doing a lot of like red carpet hosting, and so I actually got to interview Bill Nye on the red carpet, and it was right when the Superman movie came out, and it was about what would cut Superman's hair. And the actual answer is the only thing that could cut Superman's hair is Superman's hair itself, because it has to do with like the way that basically the only material that can cut a material of similar strength is that material because of the way that molecules wear down via friction. And so I watched Bill Nye as a kid, but like once I interviewed him, I had like this resurgence of like, oh my God, Bill Nye is super cool. And so when we were developing Nikipedia, we actually went back and watched like all these Nikipedias online, and we really incorporated a lot of Nikipedia a lot of Bill Nye into Nikipedia.
Oh, very cool. I think everyone likes Bill Nye, at least when you're younger.
Bill Nye is timeless, and the reason Bill Nye is timeless is because Bill Nye tells a story, and he starts with one topic per show, and that is so crucial. And that's something that we want to, emulate more or less because he created something awesome.
Very true. Very off-topic question from someone named Michael Blancato.
Oh yeah, what's up, Michael?
He says, "Which coffee is your favorite, light roast or dark roast?" I know it's very off-topic, but it's good.
Not very actually. It's not off topic at all because we created all these videos about light roast versus dark roast. One of our Nikipedias is a rap battle about light roast versus dark roast. And truthfully, the breakdown is which one has more caffeine, and the breakdown is it depends on how you measure your coffee, whether it be by weight or by scoopers.
Yeah.
My personal favorite coffee, though, is actually light roast because dark roast like burns my throat. I don't really know how to explain it. I think it's more acidic because it's in the roaster longer, and so there's more hydrogens that actually like come out. That's what makes anything more acidic, and so I think that's burning my throat. Can't back that up quite with science yet, but I definitely like light roast better.
Very cool. So here you go. There's a fan who knows about your videos then.
Oh yeah, no, Michael's awesome.
And then Claudia Smith says, "What's your career goal or dream job?"
Oh,
you're already doing your dream job.
Literally, my dream job is the job that I'm doing right now. Like literally right now. I was watching. This is so weird. I was watching this movie last night with Ashton Kutcher and it's about No Strings Attached.
Yes.
What's the girl's name? The girl's name is Natalie Portman, duh.
Yes.
So it's Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher. And I was realizing that, like, while watching this movie, that what I want to do with, like, Nikipedia and, like, YouTube and whatnot is that I started as an actor. I did a lot of hosting stuff. I did a lot of reality TV stuff. And now that, like, I've been producing science content and hosting science content, I want to do more science content. I also want to do more acting roles, and I also want to do more producing of science and acting roles. So dream job is literally doing what I'm doing because even like let's say like being Brad Pitt, right? Even if I were like the career of Brad Pitt, I would still be producing Nikipedia. Like it's like a love show. Like I love making that show. And so I want to continue doing more acting roles, continue doing more hosting roles, and continue 100% doing Nikipedia.
Very cool. That's all you can ask for. Hey, if you love it, who cares?
For that.
And you're getting good content though. It's
yeah.
not just kind of like no review or no response. So that's a plus as well.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you to everyone who watches it because we put so much hard work into it that when we get comments or replies or likes or anything, even when you share it, that's like it just like makes my heart melt because it's like we put so much into it that we love it when people like it because that's what we're making it for. We're making it for the audience. I mean, we want to know that people like it in return.
Very true. We have about 4 minutes left because you said about 30 minutes. So do you have anything else you'd like to say to your fans or anything you want to talk about that is coming up for you?
Yeah, definitely. So I want to say that in the comment section on YouTube, of course, we're going to be making, we've made a lot of Nikipedia Big Brother videos, and we've gotten a lot of good responses in that category, along with all the other response sections of our videos about what else you guys want to see. And so, as always, we just want to know what types of questions, what kind of things you want to see. As the audience, we're really in tune to what you guys want to see as an episode. So please do not hesitate at all, ever, to put a comment down there and tell us what you want to see, what you like, what you don't like, because we are 100% listening, and we're happy to make that type of content for you. And yeah, I just want to say that I am so thankful for everyone who does watch it and who does like it and who does share it on Facebook and on all their social media platforms and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to the future. There's gonna be a lot more fun stuff, a lot more acting stuff, a lot more like song stuff, rap battles, some really really interesting content coming up.
Very cool. If you want to go ahead and just say out loud your YouTube link, just so that way someone can hear it as well.
Absolutely. So it's youtube.com / Nick Uhas. And that's my YouTube channel. Although it does say Nikipedia at the top, the actual YouTube channel is just my name, Nick Uhas.
Okay, perfect. And then Michael Blancata, who you said you know, if you
Yeah.
look in the chat, he says Nick Uhas is my idol. Love him on Big Brother 15. So
Nice,
very
man.
nice.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Sending
There
love.
you go. I was about to say you have a lot of fans from Big Brother and just in general. I think we've had a lot of response to this interview so far.
That's awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
reading this one here. It says, if you could challenge anyone in a rap battle from Big Brother or Big Brother, what did it say?
Big Brother, Canada, or U.S. Who would it be?
Oh, to a rap battle? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
that's a good
Woo!
one. I didn't see that.
Woo! You know what? Oh man. I would want, I would want to rap battle Dan, because I don't think he'd be very good at it. And then I would say that I'd want to rap battle Mike Boogie, but I think he'd be really good at it. So I might kind of actually like lose on that one. Um,
Well, maybe
but
you should reach out to them.
that'd be awesome.
Have them on your show.
Maybe I'll get him in.
There you go. All right. Well, it's about that time, so I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, and you're
That's
welcome back anytime if you.
perfect. Thank you. Much
All right.
appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much as well. Have a good one.
Thank you.